Hello everybody and welcome back to Starowies. We are just trying to finish getting this big wheat field done, or big for us in this map. Trying to finish getting this done and then we can look to head over to the smaller field and then that will be all the wheat finally harvest. There is also a small field of oats to do, but it will then leave us with three, once the oats are done, will then leave us with 3 fields left that we need to bale. So it shouldn't take us too long. I was rather hoping if we get this finished as we pass back down here, but obviously that's not going to be the case. And then we can get on to obviously our baling, which that shouldn't take too long. It's a bit quicker than 5 miles an hour whilst we're harvesting. Clear the bales, and then we need to look at getting the ground cultivated up, ready for seeding. I've downloaded the Massey Ferguson / Voltra direct drill. We don't have that at the minute, because I'm rather hoping that may be something that we can save to use later on in time. The first month of any save game seems to be the busiest out of all the months that you do. I know if we look at what crops we would like to do, we can do, we've got alfalfa on this map. That's something that we want to do. So canola, we can't do barley and we can't do wheat yet. I would like to get some canola in and do it in a big enough quantity. Here we go. This field is complete. So we'll get back to the trailer. We'll unload into the trailer and we'll most likely take the baler off the Volvo and we can take it to that small field, get that done, and then rather hoping once we get to the oat field, it should, with this only being 2,000 and a bit capacity, we should be able to get it all in one go. And that's it. It shouldn't take too long at all. We must not forget also the header trailer that we've left in the grass field next to where we started. Otherwise that could spend a whole year there. We don't think about bringing it back. And we also need to get the plough. I'd like to take these small trees, turn the header off. I'd like to take these small, that shrub, those silver birches out and connect this all into one field, whilst we're making a good effort at taking that little corner out there of trees, which I've taken the bulk of the big ones down already. We're not going to touch anything with that little island there. And ooh, that was close. And it would be quite nice to look at, there's loads of cars about here. That production site there would be quite nice if we could eventually get that at some point as well. But right, let's get cracked on, let's get this harvest over. There we have it. This is our first harvest on this map, completely done, which is a great relief. Being the 3rd episode now, I think we're on, and we've finally finished the harvesting. Now it's going to be the long job of trying to get everything drilled again, because we don't have the privilege, as I just mentioned, of a direct drill, and we've only got ourselves a small cultivator. But we'll just pull this in here, we'll open the auger, and what's that? That's 1151 litres of oats. So I don't think that was really too bad. So first things first, we'll just pull in to unload our wheat, which it shouldn't take too long. And I can't remember, was it 2 full trailer loads and this? So we should have quite a nice quite a nice lot of wheat out of it all, but there should have been a lot more. But it doesn't help when the fields weren't 100% harvested. Right, gotta remember to always miss that. So I'm hoping put that there, then we can go jump in the combine and we can go park this out the way somewhere. Which we do have a lot of sheds, but we don't have a lot that can fit a machine like this in comfortably, because I also need to think about where we're going to be putting our straw bales, because we're going to have to load them up, then unload them to keep them out the way until they're ready for selling, unless we decide it's worth unless we decide it's worth selling them sooner rather than later. And where I was just going with that is, look, we've got a bag of our first lot of firewood. Let's go have a look at this. Is it 1 or 2 bags? That's awesome. I really like this mod. I'm just thinking, how do we pick well, I definitely didn't put silver birch into there, but anyways, how do you pick these up? Do you have to get it exactly through them loops? That could be very interesting. And these are 1,500, well, it's either 1 bag but done as 2, or it's 1,500 litres a time, which that price-wise, if we go stock check, so just there we've got a max value of £4,760. Yes, no, it is 2 bags. And what's left, what's already in the processor itself. And barley, 10,000 litres of barley. Where's the wheat? 11,000 litres of wheat. 35,000 litres of straw. This is all looking rather promising, to be fair. But that still doesn't solve where are we going to park this. Can I just leave it by the pigs for now? I can't remember if there's a trigger here. That is something that we need to get to, but we won't be getting pigs this episode. That is for certain. But I don't want to be in the way either of picking them up if I have to. So now let's reverse this back in, get all these little jobs done. That should be in the trigger there. Is that emptying? Brilliant. So whilst that's emptying, we will go grab the fent. And will we need that rear weight? The rear weight, which is far too heavy for us. But let's reverse onto here. And I'll just get this ready. I don't think I'll be picking up the bales out of this field first, because if I do get chance, I think the field down here, the wheat field, I think that's what we want to be putting into canola. I think. Or it's we keep this as 2 separate ones, quickly clear one and put canola into here. Let's just see how good I am, or how bad I am. I would more say bad. I am at gathering bales up, because if I can do it relatively sharpish, we might do this field. Yeah, might do this field into some canola. I'm just trying to debate, do I stack these sideways or as they are, or do I flip them onto their end? I think when I used to do it, I used to flip them onto their end, because you could always just get a few more bales in than what you can do doing it like this. And now let's go. This is the handy thing about them being the small bales. We shouldn't have much sticking out over the side of the trailer. So let's pull up to the trailer. We'll start at the front, and we will see how well this goes. You can tell there's some concentration going on from my end now, because I'm going a bit quiet. Are they gonna... What's going on now? Flattening the whole trailer there. Pushing it to the ground. Oh, don't be like that. And there we go, first 2 on, and that actually looks alright. It may just need that trailer an extra wheel. Well, an extra axle, I should say. With it just having the one axle, it doesn't seem to be the sturdiest of things. But I'm sure we will manage. So if I now go put these two onto the front of it and see how that turns. See how that turns out, whether it balances the whole thing out. So let's drop that one down there. And it's nice to see that we don't need the weight to be able to pick these up. So that's 10,000 litres of straw with no weight on the back. Brilliant. Now let's get back to this trailer. I may strap those two on, if I'm honest, before I put these, try to get these two on, because you know what will happen. I'll go to put these two on and I'll end up pushing those two off. Strap, strap, strap. We can never have too many straps. Right. Let's get these two on. Just push the whole trailer then. And brilliant. So I will quickly get these. There we go, that strap. That strap, I'll quickly get this field empty. So there's only two more to get on. And then that's this side done. And I'll probably leave that smaller side. We can do that in a time lapse a bit later on. Let's get those on. Smashing. So we need to, I think I've worked it out, just drop the tines down on the front end a bit more than what I was doing, instead of putting, pushing straight down onto the trailer itself. Right, that is everything strapped down. Those two they will probably just want a little push off. So we can park this here. What's that? That's 30,000 litres of straw, not including... Oh, it's only one bale. There's no point picking that bale up just yet. And let's go to here. We can drop that off there. Should have probably have reversed it back in to keep the job tidy, but anyways, that's okay. And we'll go get our little cultivator. And I'm unsure of how much time this may take us to do, because I did decide I had the choice of two cultivators, where if I go here, I could have gone for a 5 metre one. Oh, is that only 2 metres? Oh, we may have to have a change here. Oh, tyres, that's what I was... we may sell this one, because if that's only 2 metres, I didn't realise that, and that's 5, that is a very, very big difference. The only reason why I didn't go with the other one to begin with is because I personally had used it a fair bit on FS22. But whilst playing FS22, I never did any recordings, so none of you would have seen it before. Oh, what's going on here? That's an insurance claim and a half. But yes, we'll sell this and we'll buy that other bigger one, which should speed the job up a bit for us. So let's just pull into here. I don't know where the trigger is. I'm going to guess. Good guess. I was going to guess there. Obviously running the 2 series on Oakbridge Farm, I do try to keep the interactive zone markers off. But for here, I don't really know where they all are at the minute, so it is very much trial by error. So I'll put the tyres on, we'll buy that, so that would have made us a nice little bit of money without without meaning to. There will be no point reversing this all the way to there, because I think that will be, well, I think I'll get more grey hairs on my head if we were to do that. Right, let's back up onto it. And it's a nice little cultivator, this. Very, very, very cheap and very wide for this stage in the game. But we'll get to the field. It is also quite quick. I didn't think we'd be able to do 9 miles an hour doing this. I've had a thought about workers and GPS. I think if we, by any chance, get into any sort of modern machinery, then we can look at using GPS then, because it's more realistic that they would have GPS or an option to put GPS on, so we can use that there. Worker-wise, I am very much open to people's ideas on that one. I think it's nice that I'm doing everything myself, and I know definitely FS25 definitely has made me a very lazy player from just GPS all the time, banging it on, and doing this is sort of brings you back to your roots of 22, and I'm sure anyone else who was playing before 22, which I'm sure the majority of you probably were, brings you back to your roots there of where you couldn't trust a worker at all, so you had to do everything yourself and do everything by hand. Well, that was until GPS came out. Was it Wopster who did the GPS mod? And then you had vehicle control add-on and all them. So, but again, you weren't privileged enough if you were a console player to have them. Certainly a lot quicker doing that with the 5 metre working width than if we were to try and do it with a 2 metre working width. I just forget what the drill is. I think that's 3 metres, so that will take a bit more time, and I also think it's power wise it requires 160, whilst with this we only have 140, so it is a bit of a risk, but I'm hoping that with well, not hoping, I think with most things with Farming Simulator you can get away with it a bit. I know, especially if you look at the Lizard Plough by Black Sheep Modding, that gives you a ridiculous horsepower that it says you need, but in actual fact you don't need that at all to be able to work and run it, which is very, very handy. But we will get the seeder on. We should really lime first, but I think we may get away with doing it second, or at least I hope we can get. Well, no, we will get away with doing it second, 100%, and then we can look at getting some fertiliser on, because that's one thing that this drill doesn't have. But with our little spreader being 1600 odd litres, it shouldn't take too well, and it's got a big working width. I'm stuck there with our little spreader with 1600 litres to being able to put in it on the working width that it does have. It should be a fairly quick job and fairly stress free to get the two layers of fertiliser on. With this seed drill, it's the one you start in the game, but you don't have the weeder attachments on the back or your arms to, so that you keep drilling in a straight line, which I'm very interested. I don't actually know how to get them out, if to use them, but I will have on the F1 menu, does it tell me? Ridge markers Z. So if you just keep pressing Z, well, I'm going to give them a go, because I don't think I've ever used them before, and I think it could be interesting. So let's find Y. Why is that? I'm on the wrong thing there. Y, canola. So let's turn it on. Drop it down. Do we need to be on this one? That one, drop it down. We'll put our ridge marker out and we'll see what that looks like. And hopefully we'll get this done as soon as... Is that drilling? I know it's a very slow crop. You don't use much seed when you're doing it, but I'm hoping... There we go. Brilliant. We will get cracked on. think everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. We took a risk with the cedar, and we failed on that. The Volvo, it could pull it, but it just kept slipping all the time and had no power, and I think it was only if we had the slight sort of downhill that we were able to get up to 7 miles an hour. And then obviously I then decided, well, luckily it's not a vintage survival or something like that, so we can use modern tractors. So I went into the small tractor category, thinking that would be the best place to go to find what we need, which this was the only one with the correct amount of horsepower, or the first one I came across with the correct amount of horsepower. So at least this one, which cleared us out of I think £8,000 or 7,000, in between £7,000 and £8,000. Anyways, brought this to the field, and then the cedar was too heavy, so it was lifting the front end, so we've had to put the weight onto the front. So that has now decided for me what we're doing with it. I know I was just talking about cedars and different cedars, this, that, other, but I didn't want that to go there, that's annoying. We're going to sell it, get rid of it. I didn't want to have to do this so early on in a series by selling a bit of equipment already, but we'll just have to leave the weight here, because otherwise I don't know when that will next be coming back, and this is when we're going to have a problem now. Unless with the seed out it's alright. Okay, with the seed out we can sort of lift it, it's still heavy on the back end. So we're going to return the tractor, sell the seeder, and we're going to buy the direct seeder, which means we'll still keep the cultivator, because I would like to, at some point in this series, and I'm hoping to do it in this season, do some sugar beet, where I have got an amazing mod off ModHub. It's off a third-party website. I'm sure most of you can guess where it's come from. So let's repaint, sell, and this repaint, sell, and this we want to return. And I will try, wrong button, I will try show you if I can find it. That'll be, if we go on vegetables, beet harvesters, these two, I forget who makes them, which really, it does really annoy me. That's the one I want to use. That is definitely the one I want to use. I forget who makes them. I will have to look it up, because they are fantastic modders. They do a fair amount, and when you do go through a third-party website, it takes you on to the modders website, where I want to say it's 3D modding, but I could very easily be wrong in saying that. But right, we will go now. Well, helps if I turn it on first. We will take this, and I want to go have a look at this firewood. I think it's worth selling it as and when we get it to keep money coming in. But also cedars, before I forget and then start wondering where our cedars are. This is what we want. This is what I want to go for. To configuration standard. Oh, that's transport wheels, which you need to buy the attachment as well. So we'll go standard. Compactor wheels, where are they? On the back. Well, we've got the money, so we might as well. Rim colour, I think that will do. And does this do fertiliser as well? It may very well do. So let's buy that. 12,000. Let's go back. Does it? Yes, seed and fertiliser. I should have just gone with that one in the first place. Well, the firewood process has been very busy. There's now another 2. So I just need to work out how to actually pick these up. I'm hoping it's not trying to get it through those little holes, because that's going to be very hard work. there comes another one as well, straight out again. I say that, but I think I may have done it. That is amazing. I love this mod. It's been something that I've wanted to try for a very long time. Whilst we're here, I am going to go and try and get ourselves a little screenshot, because I think that's a brilliant screenshot. And I've only got 2 of the loops through. Sound job. Let's go see what one of these fetches us at the stall. And I'm sure, because we're coming into winter, I'm sure all the villagers will be very, very happy to see that this is a new business of ours. We're down to 1 strap, I think. It doesn't even look like we've got it on. So that's sold. So £1,200. Yeah, £1,200. That's a decent amount of money, considering all we've got to do is supply it with wood. Let's just go grab. Let's see if we can get 2 in one go. That would be interesting. Certainly make life easier. So just round here. I don't know whether you just need to be near the top of them to move them to get them out. I don't know. So this is very much a learning curve for me, as it could be for some of you. Well, some of you may know exactly how it's done. So will that. Brilliant. So you just need to go via the top. If you put your tines in near the top, that's enough to pick it up. And that one's now moved on to that loop. So there should be 24, maybe £2,500 here. If it is, that'd be lovely, but boy, it does make them very, very fast for us. 24.34. I'll take that any day. It all helps to add, well, keep adding to our bank account. But I think we'll go get the baler on, and we can look at getting this field baled. And then I'm unsure on time. I don't have my phone on me. I normally keep my phone close by so that I can keep a count on time of what's going on, so I can try and get the videos sort of round anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. Anything over that is just, well, for me it's too long. And I think for the likes of yourselves, I think everyone much prefers a slightly shorter video, but with plenty packed into it. Say that is very good timing. The sun is just about to go down. We're enjoying these light nights in August, and we will go and park. Now that's finished, we'll go and we'll park back up in the yard, and I think we should say goodnight to Walter, and also goodnight to all of you lot as we rest, and then we will see you again in the next one, which will be in the next month after we've had a nice sleep. That ordeal drilling the canola really did take a toll. So we can park just here, ready to go out in the morning. Let's turn that off. Let's hope, well, we may just close the gates just in case someone decides that they see a nice tractor that they want. And from myself and Walter, we would both like to say thank you very much for watching. We do hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe and comment. And we will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.